Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Isn't she terrific? The best part is she's on State Central Committee, so she does this stuff for free. It's really awesome. I'd like to introduce State Auditor Keith Faber, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and make a few remarks.
Thank you. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. They can sit down, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
Thank you. Well, I want to start out by bringing you greetings from one of the, I used to always say, the reddest state in our county in the state of Ohio, Mercer County, but you guys beat us. So now we're like the second or third reddest county in the state of Ohio. I used to brag that Donald Trump only got 84% of the vote in our county. I got 86. But the reality is you guys beat that too. So I have to give you a tribute and say thank you for that. Look, I love being your state auditor. It's easy for me to say what I don't do. I don't audit individuals, I don't audit businesses, and I don't collect taxes. What I am is your watchdog over the people who spend your tax dollars. There's roughly 6,000 governmental entities in Ohio. My office audits them. We catch people who lie, cheat, and steal with your money, and we put them in prison. I love my job. It is a real pleasure to be here with you tonight. I hail from Western Ohio. As I said, I come from Salina. Not only do we get to play your schools in the basketball and the other sports, but usually you beat us. So from that perspective, I just want to ask any of you who are parents or grandparents of students coming up, I've got a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old, take it easy on Salina the next couple of years. Seriously though, we are here to talk about two things that as Republicans and conservatives we hold dear: freedom and liberty. The reality is these two presidents who were up on this wall, Abraham Lincoln, who helped found our party and showed us that one nation truly needs to be under God, and Ronald Reagan, who you're going to hear some about tonight. I've had the fortune of going to the Reagan Ranch a couple of times. I always call it a pilgrimage to Mecca for those conservatives, those of us who grew up following Ronald Reagan's tenets. You know, things like government isn't the answer, it's the problem. And that's really why I'm in government. So I want to tell you on behalf of myself and the other conservatives that are in this room, thank you for your commitment to the party. Our work over the next 2 years, as I get ready to run for re-election as your state auditor, is going to get tougher, not easier. The progressives and the liberals in DC think that they've got the handle on taking America away from you. Don't let them do it. And the way we're going to succeed is by education, commitment, and hard work, just like we always do. That's the American dream. God bless you, and thank you for electing me your state auditor.
Thank you, Keith. Appreciate you being here. Well, I wanted to welcome you all here. We have one additional friend who I think is important for us to have here on the stage with us tonight because what he stands for and who he is. Father Rick Friebel, if you'll join us here and give us a quick blessing on what we're going to do here this evening.
Father, we ask your blessing on this gathering tonight, the Putnam County Republican Party and this Lincoln-Reagan dinner. We ask your blessing on our country, the United States of America. We ask you to watch over on these turbulent times. Bless our Constitution that guides us and will continue to guide our country into the future. May the principles of Reagan conservatism be forever our guiding light for us, and that all people be created equal and be treated with fair justice. Bless all of our speakers tonight, and ask a special blessing on our President, Donald J. Trump. Amen. And God bless the Republican Party. We ask all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Thank you very much, Father. Well, it's a real delight to welcome you all here. We haven't gotten together like this since 2019. We had that thing last year. So we especially want to thank Governor Scott Walker, who we originally arranged to have visit us last year. It's not easy to keep somebody like Scott Walker on hold for a year, but somehow Tom Liebrecht managed it. So we really do appreciate that, and thank you very much for accommodating us here tonight. So the good news is, I mean, you saw me get up here, and I was most worried that I realized there's three things that any speaker really has to worry about at an event like this. And the first of them is falling down, of course. The second of them is losing your train of thought, and the third one is forgetting someone. Unless, of course, you're Joe Biden. So, fortunately, I've missed all three. The night is young, so we'll see how that happens. I'd ask you to do one more favor, and that is, at least those of you up front can give a quick wave. For the first time ever, we're live streaming this on the internet. So, hello, everybody, and I especially want to say hello to my friends in the Republican Party of Cuyahoga County. Chairman Lisa Sticken-Lewis and their communications chair Rachel Mullen. They couldn't be with us tonight, even though they planned to. Hello. A couple of quick thank yous, and then we're going to get moving here. I want to thank my good friend Bob Ohm, which I don't see where he disappeared to, for playing our piano music tonight, and Jim Kniebel, who joined us as well. Old friends of mine from Delphus. Bob acts like he's just a piano player, but he was also president of the Delphus City Council for over 10 years, and he knows his politics just about as well as any of us, so that's a real pleasure. And if you're in office, there he is if you're in office in Northwest Ohio, he's done an interview with him. So that's, you've been down that road before. I also want to thank Voices of Faith. They're sitting back there. Denny and Donna Coates and their group. They're doing a wonderful job. They are wonderful prayer warriors for us. And I did want to mention at this point as well, you've all seen it already, but we have our Trump merchandise available back there in exchange for donation. Help us clear that out tonight because we're going to need some Trump 24 stuff maybe. So that 2020 stuff is out of date. So let's not have that anymore. Denny's book is also available back there. He's a noted author, and I told him, gave him the best compliment I could. He's a noted author of bathroom books because you absolutely love to read that book in the bathroom. It's fantastic. Short stories, great inspirational stories all the way around. Those are available back there for $5. He's donating all the proceeds to the Putnam County Right to Life. So feel free to grab one back there. And I'm guessing if you corner him, he'll probably autograph it for you too. So that's kind of a nice thing. Well, we have one complaint in 2019. We had a big blowout Lincoln Day dinner with Jim Jordan as our speaker back in 2019. The one complaint was that the chairman talked too long. And the main problem was that complaint came from the members of my executive committee. So we're going to try to cut down on that a little bit this evening. I did want to show you something though. That wasn't good. This is the County Party of the Year Award, which was awarded to us in 2019. And because there was no state dinner last year, we're still the reigning champions. So you may as well look at that all evening while we're at it. We were very delighted to receive that. And there's one big reason why. And we didn't win the award for this, but I hope we'll get another one for this. Putnam County voters turned out 84.13% of the vote in 2020. That's the highest voter turnout in the state of Ohio for the second general election in a row. That is worth clapping for. That's all of you. And in fact, I did a little research, and I'm not convinced that that's not the highest voter turnout ever recorded for a county in the state of Ohio. It doesn't hurt that our records don't go back that far, but I'm pretty sure that might be the best ever. So we thank you for that. We genuinely mean that. The voters of Putnam County are going to do that on their own, or at least a good part of it. We like to think we might have helped you or get some additional voters to turn out. But why that matters is one of the reasons why there's so many of you here, and particularly why there's so many statewide office holders here and potential candidates here. Western Ohio will make the decision about who winds up winning races in 2022 for the state of Ohio. Our statewide races, our Senate race, every race up and down the ballot, the Supreme Court races, are going to be decided in Western Ohio. And we want to help lead Putnam County to make sure that we've got the right candidates winning and that those candidates win convincingly. And you're all part of that. So expect to hear a lot from us over the course of the next couple of years. And we're thinking of this as kind of a kickoff for 22. So we're delighted to have you all here this evening. I have a couple of introductions. Well, I'm lying. I have a lot of introductions to make, but I'm going to move through them quickly for you, I want to recognize some of these officials who are here with us tonight. I'm going to start with the county commissioners. Mike Lammers was threatening to leave early, but I see he's still here, so I'm very glad for that. Mike Lammers, John Schlombaum, and Vince Schrader are county commissioners, and I wanted to mention them first because I have in my hands a copy of a resolution that was passed last week. I'm going to read you two key paragraphs from it. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Putnam County, Ohio, by the authority granted the Board by the laws of the state of Ohio and the people of Putnam County, Ohio, to stand and defend their rights and liberties, which are guaranteed by the United States and Ohio constitutions. We hereby declare this resolution to be a Second Amendment preservation resolution. Be it further resolved that this board will not authorize any county official to expend county funds for the purpose of enforcing illegal and/or unconstitutional laws or ordinances, including the rights under the Second Amendment. That deserves an even bigger round of applause than that. I also wanted to recognize the other county officials who are here with us this evening. You can clap after this group if you want. Not that they're less important, don't get me wrong. It's just, so that chairman thing, talking to him, right. Judge Keith Sherlow is with us here this evening. Judge Chad Neese is in the house. I can't see him because I got my glasses on. Wave at me. There he is. We're also honored to have Auditor Bob Benroe here, Engineer Mike Lenhart, Recorder Lori Rail is with us somewhere. She's kind of short, so she's going to have to, there she is, okay. Treasurer Tracy Warnicki, in the back there, Clerk of Courts Kim Redmond, and of course, Sheriff Brian Seeker is also with us here this evening. Give them a round of applause, please. You don't see it necessarily if you're not kind of watching this stuff from the inside. These office holders did a remarkable job in our season of COVID in making sure that Putnam County's operations not only continued without a break, but did so well within budget and financially conservative means. And they deserve real credit for that. They work hard to carry out the services you need, but without spending too much of your tax money. And I really wanted to thank them all for that. We have a short timer with us this evening. Over by the wall, our good friend, Ohio Treasurer Robert Sprague. Robert couldn't be with us all evening because I think he's going on vacation for a change. I wanted to give him a little special recognition as well. We did a lot of events last year, all across Northwest Ohio. And you couldn't go to one without seeing Treasurer Sprague there trying to help not only the statewide ticket, but the Trump ticket and all of our office holders up the ballot. We really appreciate that. Thank you. Justice Pat Fisher of the Ohio Supreme Court is with us this evening. Justice Pat DeWine of the Ohio Supreme Court is with us this evening. Judge Mark Miller, I think, is here somewhere. There he is. Judge Miller's been a good friend of Putnam County and a former county chairman, so I get to complain to him every time when I'm having a tough time, so he knows what that's all about. Judge Bill Zimmerman of the 3rd District Court is also here with us this evening. And I wanted to welcome two of our friends from our neighboring districts. State Representative Craig Riedel of the 82nd District is here. And State Representative John Cross of the 83rd District is here. I mentioned something in the VIP that I'm going to tell you all now. Our great State Senator Rob McCauley, Jim Hoops, our representative in the State House, have been working along with other Republican office holders in the State House to pass checks and balances against the governor's power to issue health orders and to keep those health orders in place. We've been operating under health orders issued by the governor for over a year in the state of Ohio, without the voice of the people, the General Assembly, having anything to say about it. Senator McCauley twice authored bills, had them passed by the General Assembly, had them vetoed by the governor. This last measure, Senate Bill 22, passed by the General Assembly, vetoed by Governor DeWine, was brought back on the day it came back from the governor, passed the Ohio Senate as an override bill, passed an override in the Ohio House of Representatives, and will now become law. State Senator I want to give real credit to my good friend, State Senator McCauley, who authored both of those bills, was the driving force behind both of those bills. I want to recognize Senate President Matt Huffman, who had the commitment, our friend Matt Huffman from Lima, who had the commitment to make sure that those bills passed. We interviewed Senator Huffman and Senator McCauley earlier in this month. Senator Huffman told us on the air, and he meant it so that all of you could hear it. When that override takes effect, 90 days after the override is passed, the General Assembly is ending the health orders. And all four of these gentlemen that I just mentioned voted to override that legislation. So I thank you very much, all four of you. Greatly appreciate it. One more group, actually a couple more group. Again, it's me, right? So it's a great honor for us to have 10 county Republican chairmen with us here this evening. We typically wind up doing one of these per county, and this year's been a little bit different. More importantly, I wanted them all to come here because they're my friends. They know what it's like. They know what the process is. And they are warriors. They are absolute warriors. Western Ohio has the prominence it has because they are in place and doing their work. You can clap for them all at once if you want. Chairman Renee Lentz from Logan County is here. Chairman Rob Radway from Hardin County. I think Thad Lichtensteiger is here. I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't see him. Chairman Katie DeLeon from Darke County. She's also short. There she is. Chairman Jill Steinbaugh drove over from Ottawa County. There's Jill. Chairman Patty Rocky from Williams County is with us here this evening. Chairman Bill Johns from Hancock County. Saw him over there. Bill. I think Chairman Greg Holman is here, but maybe not. He probably isn't. So then it was 9 chairs. I'm sorry. And last and certainly not least, my good friend Chairman Keith Cheney, who's right here in front of us from Allen County. I want to say an extra word about my friend Chairman Cheney, even though he's going to throw something at me. When we were starting to revitalize what we were doing here and thinking about what we could do event-wise and what kind of an impact we could make in Putnam County, we turned to him for help, and that help has been unfailing. Anytime we've needed something, give him a call. He's invited us to every single one of their events, made us part of his organization, and we greatly appreciate your assistance. And I'm pretty sure he's the only one in the room who can claim credit for having been a presidential elector, and in fact was vice chairman of the Ohio Electoral College and helped cast Ohio's 16 ballots for Donald J. Trump in the Electoral College. A few other folks I want to recognize that have been very helpful to the Republican Party. Lynn Vernick in particular, who has been Chairman Cheney's assistant for 17 years, she said, who originally provided the spark to Tom Liebrecht and I to say, you know what, you guys ought to do a Lincoln Day dinner. And she reminded me when I talked to her again this evening that the first thing I said to her is, I don't think we'll have 50 people show up. So here we are. So she's been exceptionally helpful to us in everything, and we greatly appreciate it. Barbara Orange, the president of the Lucas County Republican Women, is with us. I saw her a minute ago. There she is. Tony DeLuca, who's president of the Ottawa County Republican Women, is also here. Thank you, Tony. Our dear friend Gina Campbell, who did that wonderful rendition of the national anthem, is over there with her husband Bob. They are our state central committee representatives. They had the great sense to elect Bob Paduchek chairman, too. Thank you very much. Chairman Paduchek was with us earlier in the VIP event. He was unable to stay this evening, but he wishes his best to all of you, and he promised he'd come back. So we'll hold him to that promise, and soon. So I also wanted to say hi, or have you say hi, to some friends from Franklin County. Don Roberts and Drake Ross are both here. Where are you at, guys? There you are. And Ellen Watts also came up from Franklin County. Franklin County's got a little bit of a central committee problem going on. And so when they needed some help getting some events lined up and getting some activism going, Don Roberts and Drake and his crew down there stepped up, and I had a great honor of joining him at a rally last fall, and I'm delighted that he was able to come up today. Thank you. I also wanted to say hi to Tim Monaco. Where'd you go, Tim? Tim Monaco is the Deputy Director of the Lucas County Board of Elections. That's his real title and his job. But we all know that Tim Monaco is the guy who knows where everything is and what's going on in Northwest Ohio politics. So we're delighted to have him join us here this evening. My friend Jake Huner, who's the liaison with the Ohio Secretary of State's office, is with us tonight. Jake has been on the campaign trail for a bunch of folks up here, and he also is a real warrior, and we appreciate that. Judge Dan Hawkins from Franklin County is here. Can't see you, Judge. There he is back there. Thank you for coming. Glad you're here. My friend Commissioner Clint Vance from Paulding County is with us, too. There he is. Clint's new in office, and he's already doing great things over there, so we appreciate that. Commissioner Joe Antrim from Logan County is here, too. I can't see where you're at. There he is. Joe, glad you're here. I talked to the judge earlier, but Judge Doug Chamberlain is here from Logan County. He said he's retired now, he wasn't going to stand up. I said, well, you're here, I'm going to mention your name, you may as well stand up. So, and his wife Patty Chamberlain and Melanie Baker from the Logan County Central Committee are with us as well. Thank you for coming. I wanted to mention one other young man. His grandmother contacted me and said, my grandson is 13 years old and would dearly love to come to your event and meet some of the office holders. And I said, well, you're in luck, because I was looking for somebody to sponsor our VIP event and meet Governor Walker. So Brody Thorpe, where are you? There he is. His proud grandma wrote an email about this long about all the neat things that Brody is doing, and Brody's going to be a future political leader in Northwest Ohio, and we're glad to have him here with us this evening. So thank you for following me through the intros there. I want to see if I can do my other part and not make those mistakes that I mentioned earlier. There's one other. Oh no, I'll get to that in a second. I'm sorry. I was about to take you out of order, and I didn't want to take you out of order. I did want to make just a couple of quick comments of my own, just to kind of give you a background of this whole thing. In 2019, I was at a Trump rally in Wapakoneta. Actually, Barbara and my wife and Jill Steinbaugh and I think Nate Daniels, we were technically at a Trump rally. What we were was on the back of a school bus at a Trump rally, which is where we stayed for like 4 hours. And then we went back to the high school and we went home. So that was kind of how that worked out. Those are the privileges of being a county chairman, as it turns out. But we had a wonderful time together. But what occurred to me from that event is my dear friend Gina Campbell was chatting with some folks from Hancock County and introduced me to him. And he asked, her friend asked where I was from. I said, I'm from Putnam County. And he said, you know, that's funny. And I said, what's that? He said, when I meet people from Putnam County, they don't say I'm from Ottawa, and they don't say I'm from Pandora, and they don't say I'm from Leipzig. They say they're from Putnam County. That's what they tell me every time. He says, time and again. He said, why is that? And I thought at the time, I don't really know why that is. It's just what we do, you know. Well, it occurred to me when I was thinking about kind of a theme this evening that there is a good reason for that. There's a very good reason for that, because we don't think of Putnam County as a place. We think of Putnam County as a way of life. That's what we think of Putnam County as. It's not where we live, it's what we do. I want to make sure I get out of that feedback. Your families, my family, most of your families, came here 5 or 6 generations ago from Germany, mostly. They were looking for religious freedom, and they were looking for economic freedom. They wanted an opportunity to live their lives as they chose, to worship as they chose, and to pursue their own pursuit of happiness, just like it says in the Declaration of Independence. We didn't think 200 years later that we'd be worried about our religious liberty or our economic freedom, did we? But here we are, 200 years later. There's another word for what a way of life means, and that word is culture. That is how we live. The culture is how we live. We are engaged in a great culture war with the left right now. We're just seeing the very edge of it now. We face a political opposition that isn't opposed to us on policy, that isn't opposed to us on what office holders we want in place. They are opposed to us on the way we live. They don't like the way we live, and they want us to change the way we live. That's what the basis of what we're entering into is now. And Governor Walker is going to talk a lot about that tonight, as it turns out. But we've got an option here. That is, we're not in the business of accepting other people telling us how we're going to live. And that option is to say no. It's just flat out to say no. Our great governor, James Rhodes, had a saying he loved to use. He said, the average Ohioan wants a job and to be left alone. That's what the average Ohioan wants, a job and to be left alone. We'd very much like to be left alone. We'd very much like to be in comity with the left. If we could get along with them, that would be great. They don't want to get along with you. And so you have an option, and that option is the word no. Carol, I asked Carol, my office manager, to draw me a thing on my whiteboard that I use in my videos all the time that just said no. Well, it turned out the whiteboard didn't work very well. So I'm just going to say no. It's just no. And the thing is, you get to make that choice. That is, it's not up to them to decide how you live. It's up to you to decide how you live. sometimes you have to be willing to stand up and say no. You're nice people. I know you can say no, you don't do it very often, but you have to learn to say no. When the Democrats are passing bills that repeal the Hyde Amendment that kept your tax dollars from going to Planned Parenthood, when they pass bills to remove that, which they did as part of the American Rescue Plan, what do? You say no. When they leave the border open so that they can create a vast influx to overwhelm our resources, to create future Democrat voters, what do? You say no. And in fact, one thing I've always wondered about, do you suppose that if those people coming over the southern border were going to be Republican voters, that they'd be allowed across the southern border? They'd have that place locked up tighter than Nancy Pelosi's gated compound in San Francisco. Are you going to give up your guns because Karen in San Francisco feels unsafe? Well, of course you're not. So you're going to say no. This is part of their culture war as well. Do you intend to wear 2 masks for 2 years because Dr. Fauci says you should? No. So fortunately, we've got a means. Governor Walker mentioned in the VIP event, we're this close. We don't hold the White House because of about 40,000 votes, give or take, in key states. We held on to every single state house in this United States that the Democrats went over to try to flip in the way of redistricting. We control the General Assembly in Ohio and many other states. We get rid of the Democrat governors and Democrat secretaries of state and Democrats on state Supreme Courts, and we're back in the majority across the land. If you do your part in 2022, we make sure those things don't happen here that have happened in Pennsylvania and in Michigan and in Georgia and in other places around this country. If you do your part in 2022, we make Bob Latta committee chairman, we put Republicans back in charge of the United States Congress, and we put an end to this nonsense coming out of there right now. I can promise you that the members of the Putnam County Republican Party will do everything that we can to help make that possible. That's what our goal is. That's what our fight is going to be. I hope you'll be with us on that. Thank you.